So as they began to approach the town they were traveling to, the man said, "I want to go on a little further." But then these men, they invited him to stick with them, to to stay the night with them in Amos. And so he agreed, and so they decided they were going to have dinner together. And as they were eating dinner, Jesus, who was still hiding his identity, he takes the bread and he breaks it and he begins to pray, asking God to bless what they're going to eat. He prays in a way that all of a sudden reveals to these men who this one man, this mysterious man was, that he was Jesus. And so they drew near to the village to which they were going. He acted as if he were going further, but they urged him strongly, saying, "Stay with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is now far spent." So he went in to stay with them. And when he was at table with them, he took the bread and blessed and broke it and gave it to them. And their eyes were open and they recognized him, and he vanished from their sight. They said to each other, "Did our hearts not burn within us while he talked to us on the road, while he opened to us the scriptures?" And they rose that same hour immediately and returned to Jerusalem. And they found the 11 and those who were with them gathered together, saying, "The Lord has risen indeed and has appeared to Simon." And then they told what had happened on the road and how he was known to them in the breaking of the bread. And so they realized in that very moment that there was something special taking place with Jesus. Their hearts were ignited when they realized that Jesus was right there in their presence, sharing the word with them. Their hope was restored, that they were no longer aimless, they were no longer without a purpose, but now their hope in who Jesus is was restored, and their purpose was now confirmed, that they were truly followers of Jesus, and they had placed their faith in the right place. And now their purpose of being a new creation, being a messenger sent to share the good news, was now their goal. And in fact, he was really just beginning his plan with those followers of Jesus. God was just beginning to use these men in mighty ways. And so this is exciting for them. Can you imagine how excited they were that even in the middle of the night, which is obviously dark, they jump up and they go back 7 miles to where they just came to tell the good news of what was taking place there on the road to Emmaus, that Jesus revealed himself. And not only that, but he spoke scripture, truth and scripture to them so that they would know. So their momentary uncertainty in those 3 days was crushed as Jesus shared God's big picture, that he was still in control, that he was still on track with his plan, that he's still doing amazing things to save the world through Jesus and Jesus' life, death, and resurrection. And these men were ecstatic to be involved in it. And so maybe you're having a difficult time just really seeing God's big picture in your life right now. What is it that God is doing in your life right now? What is the big picture of God's plan and what he's doing in your life? Maybe there's uncertainty of the next thing that's going to happen that's kind of fogging that picture up for you, that you're missing out on what it is that God's going to do with you personally. And so, will I ever get to leave my house? Maybe a question you're asking, right? Will I ever get to see my friends again, right? Will I ever get to finish school and be done with it, right? And have summertime? What's going to happen during summer, right? Am I ever going to get to go to youth camp? Hopefully. Hopefully. We'll ever get to eat Chick-fil-A again, eat at Chick-fil-A, all right? Those are some important questions that maybe we're asking ourselves in this uncertain time, right? And we're having this difficult time seeing God's big picture and what he's trying to do through all this. The truth is, God is not done. He's not confused. He's not surprised by what we're going through. So his plan and his big picture is still intact. He's still going through with that. He's still making that happen. That's something we have to trust and believe. He still has you in mind and what he wants to use you for. And when all this is over, he's going to put you into action, just like he did with these two men. In his time of momentary uncertainty, he gave them these truths. He gave them this certainty that he's going to use them again, and they were excited to be a part of it. They went out running, ready to serve, ready to fulfill their role as a follower of Jesus Christ. And so, what are you going to do now to prepare for that day? What are you going to do right now during this time to prepare for the moment when everything clears out and God's ready to put you into action? These men did have questions, rightfully so, but I don't think they really lost faith. I don't know that we've lost faith, but maybe we have questions of what's going on. What do we do during this time? How do we fulfill being followers of Jesus during this time other than prayer and reading our Bible? Right? How do we put this into action while we're stuck at home doing the things that we're doing these days? But here's what Jesus did. He gave them this gift, right? They were given hope through the news of a resurrection that was delivered to them, right? They were given the truth by interpretation of Scripture by Jesus himself. They were given the certainty when they saw Jesus, when they saw his face, and realized that they were in his presence as he was breaking bread and praying, blessing it, right? And then they were given a mission to proclaim the good news. So they're given those things as a gift so that they knew that God's big picture was still intact, and they got to be a part of it. And this is all that we need, really, to trust that God's big picture is still happening, that he still wants to save people, that he still wants to bring people to a relationship with him. We just need the hope. We need the truth that comes from Scripture. We need the certainty when we see Jesus, when we see him active in our lives. And we need to know that we've been given a mission to proclaim that news. That's what God's done for us. And so in all this uncertainty and not being sure of what's going on, know that God's big picture is still happening. It's still intact. And when all this is done, he's going to put us into action. He's going to send us out to do some great things in the places that he wants us to go. And so what are you doing in this moment, in this time, to prepare for what God's going to do when he opens everything back up for us? What are you doing now to prepare for this opportunity? Just want you to know I love you guys. I miss you so much. And I know we're going to have an opportunity at some point to get back together. And when that happens, there's going to be some exciting times. God's going to do some really great things through our church and through our student ministry. And I'm really excited to see what God's going to do. It's going to be amazing. Love you, and I'll see you.
Now, son, make sure that you don't shoot your eye out.
Ouch!
Nobody tells him what to do because he's Super Rebel. He plays by his own rules. Rules were made to be broken.
Oh, yeah?
He does what he wants.
Not for human consumption.
He's a maverick,
Like I care.
a nonconformist. He broadcasts and retransmits sporting events without the express written consent of the NFL. He never, ever waits 30 minutes after a meal to swim. He tampers with smoke detectors in airplane lavatories. He hates all authority.
Son, mow the lawn. No.
Sweetie, eat these cookies.
No.
He is the most rebellious teen alive.
Sir, would you please follow me?
You are not the boss of me.
Out of control. He does what no one else does.
Are you actually reading the terms and conditions? No one reads those.
I know. Why do you think they call me Super Rebel?
Okay.
Cash me outside. How about that?
Come on, man. Silence your phone.
Silence your face.
Excuse me? Silence my what?
He's a super rebel
Have a nice day, sir.
Don't tell me what to do.
because everyone else is a big, fat, stupid head.
Look both ways, man. You look both ways.
He doesn't look both ways before crossing a street. Nothing can stop him. He's Super Rebel, and he's gonna rock your world.
No, I'm not.